Rugby stands for many things, and it is a great honor and pleasure today to see that the family of rugby in Ghana is moving as in other parts of the world. Yaw Konadu, who is the head of the Ghana Rugby Deaf Association, has come to the headquarters of Ghana Rugby for meetings with Mr. James Nunu, the president of St. West Rugby, Mr. Aziz, the president of Greater Accra, Gara, the General Secretary Bismarck, and Rafatu Nusa, who's a director, board member, and in charge of getting into rugby and ladies rugby as well. We've had an extraordinary meeting today explaining the virtues of what rugby stands for, which I believe Mr. Konadu is aware. And the issue, the fact that it is a sport that embraces equity, embraces respect, embraces working together, is so strategic and is so important in the development of people in general. We've explained how it is that we operate under the auspices of Africa Rugby. We are full members of World Rugby, and we therefore follow every edict that it entails within that. We are very proud as an association, as a federation, of the fact that our levels of compliance, our code of ethics, and the way in which we run rugby in Ghana is in line with that of our world body, the governing body, World Rugby. To be a part of us, we would expect that they themselves would also abide by the same traditions and the rules and regulations with which we run Ghana Rugby. Our accounting system is transparent, our forecasts and planning is such, which is why in such a short space of time, Ghana Rugby has not only become part of World Rugby, but we have now become seeded in terms of rugby in general. The ladies this year are going for Olympic qualification, which even though we don't expect them to do very well, the fact that they are one of the 12 nations out of 39 federations in Africa is a monumental achievement, of which Ghana Rugby thanks Africa Rugby, we thank Khalid Babu, in particular Coralie, the general manager, and others for working with us the last few years in the establishment of a proper female rugby league, a championship, and qualifying to the point where we could be considered to play alongside world greats like Kenya, Uganda, Madagascar, etc., all of whom South Africa, all of whom are involved in this program. I think that on top of that, we've moved to the point where the men as well have become seeded, one of the top 12 teams in Africa, going through for Olympic qualification. So what we do off the field and how we win off the field, putting into practice what is expected on the field, has been the core of where we've gone. We've understood and we've conveyed that to Mr. Konadu of the fact that our growth and development depends on the youth. So we have a Getting Into Rugby program, which is essentially run by Rafatu Nusa and is managed overall by Rian Milan in South Africa, which has brought tuition and involvement of children at all ages throughout the country. We would expect that deaf rugby would do exactly the same, and not do it by itself, but be part of a program. We have officers here who are affiliated to ourselves. We have schoolmasters, and games teachers around the country who have been involved in this program. We've seen massive development in St. West and in Gara, and right now there's a massive program about to embark in the north as well. And we expect that the Deaf Association, the Ghana Deaf, the Deaf section of Ghana Rugby, would also do exactly the same in development. And once we've seen that happening, then we can start talk about how they become competitive with other surrounding countries and how we can get them affiliated to other things. The question of money has always been a thorny issue. We are not in a position to start giving out money to the Deaf Association. We receive no money from state, no money from the National Sports Association, and no money from government. Training is difficult. We buy our own equipment. But in the Getting Into Rugby program, if that develops, we will definitely look at small budgets to provide depending on productivity. So today it's a great day for us to be involved, and we thank Mr. Konadu for coming all the way from Obuasi to be involved in this program. We have President Nunu coming all the way from Cape Coast with the General Secretary Bismarck, and Aziz himself cutting his program short today as he's been trying to resolve issues of travel and transport for the ladies. It's a great day for rugby, and we more than welcome Mr. Konadu into the family. As we move forward, we will be very clear on staff that he may have that may require training, and we are very transparent. So what we do will be conveyed to our own governing bodies as and when things develop.